Right, now we're going to move right into some real common sense too. Remember last week we were talking about the UK's National Health Service replacing the term breastfeeding with chest feeding. Well, now a maternity leave bill proceeding through the UK Parliament at Westminster has removed any mention of pregnant women, right? It's a maternity leave bill, but no pregnant women are there. Instead, the legislation refers to pregnant persons. For more on this madness and to hear some not-so-common common sense, I'm joined from Newcastle by the leader of One Nation in New South Wales, Mr Mark Latham. I don't know. Look, how on earth? I mean, it's one thing to have this, breastfeeding, chest feeding debate going on in hospitals in Brighton, but this is a Tory government in Britain, Mark, in the Westminster Parliament, suddenly to remove women from legislation. The once great Conservative government, where is it at with all of this stuff?
Well, they've swallowed the woke madness, haven't they, Peter? There's no guarantee that because they're called Conservative or they're called the Liberal Party in this country, they are actually in tune with mainstream traditional values. The sellout in this area is not just from the Greens and the Labor Party, but the left wing of the Liberal Party in Australia, and I'd imagine the left wing of the Conservative, so-called Conservative Party in Britain. But, we have this here already. In 2019, an abortion bill was allocated time through the New South Wales Parliament by the Berejiklian government. The Health Minister worked closely on the proponent of that bill, and it referred to people. And an amendment was moved to say that only women can have babies, and it was defeated. So, we have this madness. You are right to remind me.
You are right to remind me. I remember that at the time.
Yeah, we have this madness in Australia where people have a fantasy notion that someone other than a woman can have a baby. Now, this, of course, we hear a lot of lectures from the left about attention to the facts and the science, follow the science, but biological science, they throw it straight out the window.
Yeah, and I've got to ask, where are all the feminists too? Because, there's been such a long fight for women to have equality. And a lot of this, changes of nomenclature is about diminishing the role of women, diminishing motherhood. I find it offensive. I know that there's this, fight on the issues of transgender and people have gone after J.K. Rowling in the UK. But this is a debate about not losing those gains for women. I think it's, a really backward move. I've got to go, though, because I want to get you on Craig Kelly. Well, I've got you in the hot seat. I just assumed, his phone would be running hot. Well, the National Party today don't look like they want him. Pauline Hanson in Canberra today looked pretty lukewarm on him joining One Nation. You're the leader in New South Wales. Have you approached him? And if not, will you approach Craig Kelly to run?
Oh, well, I've had discussions with Craig Kelly on a number of issues over a long period of time. And it was pretty plain to me that he was dissatisfied with the Liberal Party, particularly the left wing of the Liberal Party that runs it in New South Wales with all their woke agenda, 100% renewables, the things that are happening in the education system, the woke madness in the New South Wales public service. So I had no notice of his announcement yesterday, but it didn't come as a surprise to me. But I saw a news report he's announced he's running as an independent at the next federal election, and I assume that that'll be in the seat of Hughes.
But you're not going to approach him? I want to push you on this. That you can say you're going to run for whatever you like today, but does that mean you won't approach him to change his mind and run for One Nation?
Well, he's a federal MP, so it's our federal leader, Pauline, who handles that. But if he misses out at the next federal election, there's a New South Wales election in 2023, and, I'd sit down and talk to Craig about a whole bunch of things about that election, but he may well be re-elected to the federal parliament, and that'll be the end of the argument.
Just a quick one, I'm almost out of time, but what's this murky lobbyist link between Matt Keane, Environment Minister in New South Wales, and the Michael Photius, Liberal connected lobbyist?
Well, Peter, it's a policy-making cartel in the energy sector. The New South Wales government has paid over $300,000 for someone from the Blueprint Institute working out of the UK to do the modelling. They haven't released the modelling about their 100% renewable plan, but it is faulty and it does favour the utility renewable sector, wind and solar farm. And the people who run the Blueprint Institute are Ian Hancock and Michael Photius. Ian Hancock has his sister working, a very clear conflict of interest, working as the Director of Energy Policy for the Minister, Matt Keane. So, no arm's length independent analysis. It's a deep web of conflicts of interest that they allow to stand in the Liberal Party, and obviously Photius is lobbying interests for renewables, their own energy business. They're beneficiaries of the sort of thing that came out of the Parliament last year. So go figure.
Well, and I saw Malcolm Turnbull take on a big job today in the same sort of sector, so I know you'll watch it closely, as will I. Mark Latham, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Peter.